Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of June 2021, and we're looking at what is happening in the markets this morning and some of the headlines which are hitting the news. So let's take a look. Now, firstly, just a quick shout out to our video yesterday entitled Illuminati Silver Invests or Gambles in Cryptos. Take a look, where we pointed out that over the bank holiday weekend we opened an Etora account and started dabbling in cryptocurrencies. Our first foray into this market. We were showing a loss of around $10 to $15 during the course of the podcast for an $880 investment. We'll look at the end of this to see how we're faring today. But today we are specifically looking at general headlines and precious metal prices. So let's take a live look together. Okay, it's Wednesday, 2nd of June. Let's take a look at what's happening this morning. It's 10:37 a.m. GMT plus 1. And we can see in the Bloomberg headlines a number of articles. Erdogan renews rate cut demand as unemployment erodes support. We have China's solar giants say industry needs to fight cost inflation. UK mortgage approvals rose unexpectedly in April, Bank of England says. And UK to begin process to join the Trans-Pacific Trade Partnership. What we thought we would do, as this is primarily to do with investments and gold and silver, let's look at what's happening on the markets. Updated at 10:13, so it's about 25 minutes ago from the time we're recording this. Let's have a quick look. European stocks rose while US equity futures drifted on Wednesday as the tussle between economic optimism and inflation concern continues to play out in markets. The dollar ticked up. Oil advanced after closing at the highest since October 2018 with OPEC plus, now that's OPEC plus Russia, providing an upbeat demand assessment and the prospect of a speedy return of Iranian barrels waning. Turkish lira has fallen to a record low. Fed Governor Larry Brainard said on Tuesday there are risks on both sides of monetary policy as the US economy surges ahead while millions of people are unemployed. Quote by Lauren Goodwin, portfolio strategist at New York, life investments, investors would see a surge in payrolls growth as a sign that the Fed is more likely to move. So, looking at this very briefly, Stocks Europe 600 is up 0.2%. Futures on the S&P 500 little change. Nasdaq fell 0.1%, so broadly between them very little. Dow Jones little changed. We can see that the dollar spot index is up 0.2%. Probably that will cause a slight effect now on gold and silver. We'll take a look at that in a second. And the pound has fallen 0.1% against the dollar. Yield on 10-year treasuries, little change. Germany's little change, and Britain's 10-year yield, little change. So they're not going to have a dramatic effect. And we can see spot gold fell 0.2% to 1,896. Site, let's take a look at the price charts today for gold. And we can see that at the moment gold is down $10 at $1,895. It's been as high as 1912 and as low as 1892. And we can see from this chart by Bullion by Post, let me get rid of that, we can see what yesterday gold peaked at the 1912. So this is a 24-hour summary. Looking at today on Wednesday, see that gold was at roughly 1899 and it's vacillated a bit and seems to be dipping now. Silver, not a good chart today for silver, down 43 cents. When we looked at our cryptos yesterday, we took a bit of stick off one or two commentators saying silver's about to break out, you should be talking about that. Well, greatest respect, where's the breakout? Silver's down 43 cents at $27.77. We'll talk about breakouts when we think the breakout is going to occur. At the moment, we don't. There was the chance of it yesterday when silver suddenly rose up to 28.57. But of course, it then almost immediately fell back and then continued its downward trajectory. So from the time it peaked, which in UK time was 14:20, 2:20 in the afternoon, within 2 hours, really, or less than that, an hour and a half, it had dropped to below 27.99. Then we realized there was not going to be a breakout. It started, but it just fell away. And as we have often said, this 28.50 level is a considerable resistance level for silver. It needs to surpass that and hold above it, and it's not doing that at the moment. So we can see silver's in the doldrums. Let's just have a quick look while we're here at platinum for the day. This is the daily chart. Platinum's down $15. Okay, bit of toing and froing. Palladium. We can see palladium. Yeah, palladium strengthened. There's no end to its strength at the moment. It's up 2,850, but if I take a month view, it is actually down $100. And I can't draw it on this chart because we can't draw the lines, but you can see a downward trend at the moment here on the monthly chart. On the 3 monthly chart, however, it's a very different picture. So whenever you're looking at technical analysis and you listen to so-called experts, we always say don't just follow one chart. Look at the price action over the very short term if you're doing day trading, but also the medium to long term. So you can see, looking at palladium, 3-month high 3,030, you can see it has been an upward cycle. It looks like it is going into a downward one though, to be fair, slightly anyway. 6-month, similar trajectory. And if you look at the annual chart, you would get a slightly different picture because you would draw a line here, a little bit of a pullback. It could go further here. Let's look at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, on the week, down $2,500, but on the day, we can see it's down 803. Now, what I can say is that earlier today it was higher because I've been watching Bitcoin very closely to see if it would break out. The crucial area for Bitcoin at the moment is $40,000. It needs to break above that and hold for a day or two to confirm the next leg up, which would push it to 50, maybe 60, or its all-time high. I think it's $65,000. But it's not getting there. It's been as high as 37,000 today, but if we look at the month, you can see a discernible downward trend from, well, $59,000, $60,000, just under, all the way down here. Slight rise, but we might be going back into a further downward trend, and this is the concern of crypto experts. And if you go from the peak, you can see it was 64,859. I think this bullion buy post do it at day's end peak rather than intraday peak, I believe. You'll see some charts saying it did actually reach 65,000. And once again, you can see we're in a downward trend over a 3-month period. However, having said that, on an annual basis, there's been a very strong uptrend. People perhaps, we talk often, obviously, about gold and silver being a great investment. And we know that cryptocurrencies are more of a speculation, really. I call it a gamble, but speculation is a very fair word. And less than a year ago, you were looking at Bitcoin at $9,000, peaking at 65,000. So you're talking about 700% in essentially roughly May, June, July, 10 months. But it's falling back now. We can see on our cryptocurrency chart at the bottom, we are $54 in profit. Now, yesterday we were sub $10 in loss. Just goes to show how things change. But we have sold one item at a massive profit of about 30 cents. I'll show you what it is and why we did that. And that was Chainlink. Here it is. And we actually got out at 30.52. We made a profit, I think it was about 30 or 40 cents on the purchase. The reason being is that although the market broadly is up 2 or 3%, this one has struggled to stay positive. And we just took the view, when the market was declining the day before yesterday, this was the biggest loser. Managed to recover most of it. But the market is relatively strong. And all of a sudden, this one is still grossly underperforming. So we came out at a very marginal profit with the intention of going back in, I hasten to add. Chainlink is one that we believe is very positive for the future. But we think we perhaps got in a little bit too high. But the big star of the day is the one coin that everyone thinks is a load of rubbish, and that's Doge. And we purchased, as you can see, we bought in, we spent an enormous $190. We bought it at 31.83 cents and 31.89 cents. And we're making $21 on the one contract and $19 on the other. So we're up $41 because the average price is 31. Of buying is 31.86, and the current price over here in the left hand corner if you sell is 38.79, and the buying price is 39.95. That was just over 40 cents a few minutes ago, and this is to do with the fact that I believe I'm right in saying that Coinbase Pro, or one of the exchanges, have decided to accept Doge. Okay, a massive $50 profit and silver slightly in the doldrums. We may even use Etora to buy some silver, albeit paper admittedly, but frankly, we feel we have enough physical and we really hate paying the relatively large premiums for that physical, if truth be told. And we'll let you know as soon as we do. Meanwhile, what do you think is going to happen to gold and silver today? Many people will be talking about a silver breakout. Do you see that occurring? And if so, when? Do share your thoughts. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel, not forgetting to press the bell sign so you're notified of our videos as and when they are published. Disclaimer. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.